packing matches, my pistols blast. I make it happen up in traffic like magic. There's no status, my apparatus. We make it paid by the dubs and hundreds. It's the love we wanted, but the rules keep coming. I never knew that you was slacking. I'm stacking as fitness. Only thing you ever did was turn my back on this nigga. But I still got love for this dude. I hate to go through a few over my nickels and molecule.
All right, so for those who may not know, tell the people who you are, where you from, and how did you got the name Critical?
Okay, what's happening, y'all? This is Crit the Grit, aka Critical Kokane of Lethal. You know, I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma, born and raised, 49th in Frankfurt. Royal bloodline of Leslie Randall. On my mama's side, royal bloodline of Rufus Moore. On my daddy's side, these is all American Indians.
How'd you get the name?
The name came from actually the name came from my partner Claydoe, man. Rest in peace, man. The God, man, one of the rap gods who, you know, it's a long backstory between me and him, and how a lot of this stuff happened. But we gonna dialogue that tonight. But Claydoe, the one who gave me that name, Critical. He said that I was real analytical with the wordplay. You know, this is back when we was kids, man. We was young, man. So, you know, even one gave me that name, and it kind of stuck, man. And everybody in the hood started calling me that. It took probably about 10 months, man, for it to catch. And man, I stayed with it the whole time.
When you hear people call you a legend, you know what I'm saying, a Tulsa rap legend, what does that mean to you?
I mean, you know, man, I'm grateful, man. I'm grateful that, you know what I'm saying, the people see me in that light, you know, put in a lot of work, man, as young artists. We got ourselves signed on a record deal, you know what I'm saying, got moved out of here to Dallas, Texas. And we actually recorded that Lethal album in Vegas in some of the same studios that Pac and DMX recorded in. We actually recorded that Lethal album, bro, in like 3 days. We did 21 songs in 3 days. We had a locked-in session. It just go to show, you know what I'm saying, the work, man, the work itself, the work that we put in, you know, for itself. And then not only that, it's just, you know, just the consistency over the years, man, of just dropping, you know, quality music that people could actually relate to. You know what I'm saying? It was just telling our stories from Tulsa, Oklahoma side. And, you know, just like I said, the consistency over the years, I think they caught, and, you know, the people, you know, they respected the work. You know what I'm saying?
Do you remember the first time somebody called you a legend?
The very first time. Let me see. Let me think.
So much.
Yeah, the very first time somebody actually said, man, that shit is legendary. And the crazy thing about it, bro, is when they said it, it was my nigga William Ray, man. My nigga William Ray, the OG William Ray, man. Tulsa legend. You know what I'm saying? He said, Crit, this shit is legendary. And bro, this was probably like 98, 99. Right when we was really getting, like, you know, building the momentum up. We had did a large concert at back then it was Big Splash, the water park, and that thing sold out. And the crazy thing, you know, the people who owned the park, they had seen the influx of people, so they started just letting people in. It was like over 9,000 people in that park when the fire marshal shut it down. And the homie, he pulled up on me, like, man, that shit was legendary, homie. You know what I'm saying? That was the first time, you know what I'm saying, somebody had ever, you know, used those words with us. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I appreciate that.
You know, because, I mean, y'all got a lot of features, you know what I'm saying, with a lot of people that well respected, well known, you know what I'm saying, as far as, like, y'all did a lot of work, you know what I'm saying, a lot of networking, you know what I'm saying, a lot of great things. But, what was your life like growing up in Tulsa? You know what I'm saying? How'd your neighborhood shape you, or what neighborhood shaped you?
And that's a beautiful question right there, God. Coming up in from 49th in Frankfurt, you know, I went to school at Elcott Elementary, which is on Frankfurt Block. And that's elementary. I went to middle school on which would be considered Cincinnati, which is Gilcrease, and then I went to McLean on Peoria. So the schools that I went to is probably all of them was probably no more than about 2 to 3 miles away from where my grandmother stayed at. But that environment over there, I stayed right across the street from Chamberlain Park, man. And believe it or not, man, I used to be a sports superstar around here. You know what I'm saying? And that's where some of my first fame came from, was actually playing football and basketball. Coming out of high school, man, I had like 30 offers in basketball. I was one of probably the best point guards in the nation at that time, coming in from the 90 to 1993 era, especially anywhere from like 91 to 93. I was recognized regionally and nationally as one of the better point guards in the country. And just growing up in that neighborhood, seeing, you know, like you had Reggie Brooks, Tony Brooks, that, you know, they end up going to NFL right down the block from me. You know, I had one of my little homeboys that, you know, I raised was Damon Parker, who ended up going to OU, going to the Green Bay Packers. All these dudes was like right in the neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? And sports was like the main outlet at that time, you know, and between the sports and then the drug dealers, you know, dudes shooting through the neighborhoods with, you know, SS Monte Carlos, IROC Z's, you know, Camaros, Vets, you know, that was kind of like my influence in the neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? So it was a collection of sports dudes that made it to the league, hood stars, you know, dudes that was young dudes that was getting money at the time, that was flipping cars, you know what I'm saying? And you know, it was just a connection of that environment that, you know, really pushed me and molded me to who I am today.
So how would you describe your upbringing? Was it like more of the music, more of the hustle, or was it a mixture of both?
Yeah, so now if I go it now the crazy thing is my dad, which is James Moore Jr., which is he was one of the elite drummers from around this area. Then I grew up in the household watching bands and listening. He had a band called Seville back in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? And my old man built a studio right next to Gibbs, where Gibbs is still to this day. It was an old building right there. It used to be like the Brown Sugar building right there. My old man ended up leasing that building and put a real recording studio in that building when we was, I mean, I probably was like 7 or 8 years old when this was going on. You know what I'm saying? So I've been around actual music and live instruments and people singing and performing, man, since I came out the womb. You know what I'm saying? I had my first drum set, bro, at about 4 years old.
Okay. Yeah. So before you even picked up a mic, you know what I'm saying, who were some of your biggest influences both in life and in music?
One of my biggest influences musically was my old man. Like I say, I used to go to the Greenwood festivals with him, man, and watch his band. They was dope, man. The people loved. Then you know, my homeboy Claydoe, man, that was one of my, you know, that was one of my major influences right there. He the one that actually got me to pick up the microphone. You know what I'm saying? And then of course, you know, we had people like, you know, NWA at the time, Eazy, Yellow, Ren, Ice Cube. You had this was, you know, we talking 84, 85, 86, 87 era. You had Too Short, you know, Slick Rick, all of them guys from the early 80s, man, you know what I'm saying? It kind of molded my influence as well, to have like a style that was more versatile, you know what I'm saying, than what you would normally hear from these parts of from the nation.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember the first time that you realized music could be more than just a hobby?
And it's crazy you say that. You know, I always, anything that I always did, I always looked at it as a way that I could get out of the situation and the environment that I was in. So everything that I ever done, I put forth my heart and my focus, and I honed in on it and honed the skill set and got the repetition in it to master it. So, you know, that was pretty much how I basically honed in on actually mastering the art of playing with these words. But it was my homeboy Claydoe, man, who had been rapping since we was in the 3rd grade. He had made up a Martin Luther King song. We had a school play, man. I never will forget it. This is probably like 1982.
Yeah.
He made a Martin Luther King rap, and I was one of his dancers at the time. And we used to just, I go over his grandma. His grandma stayed on 48th. My grandma stayed on 49th. And I'll go over there. We freestyle, but I never was taking it serious. I just, come off the head with them because they was writing this shit. You know what I'm saying, at that time. And that's, like I say, he gave me that name Critical. And man, it's just stuck. Once I started picking up the ink pen, and articulating my wordplay, and it just meshed. And he had a little brother by the name of Skrill. You know what I'm saying? That actually formulated the group Lethal. Actually, he was the one who came up with the name Lethal, and we actually built that rap group in Skrill's mama's bathroom in over her house. And rest in peace to Amy, man. You know what I'm saying? She showed us so much love, man. We used to go over and spend the night. The Skrill was another dude who had a major he was a visionary with a lot of talent, and he was younger than us. He was like a year or two younger than us, and he was real. He was basically like how we was. He was real serious about the craft, and like I said, we put in a lot of work, man. Before we signed that deal, we had maybe 300 songs, man, that we had built. You know what I'm saying, in different studios around here.
Okay. So was there a particular moment or event that changed your path? That really changed your path?
Yeah, two events did. Two events did. One of the events was when we got signed on that record deal. We got signed on that record deal, and we was, I think when I was 20, I just turned 22. I think Claydoe was 21. I think Skrill might have been 19 when we signed. 19 turning 20, somewhere in there. And that was the first time that I understood that, that if we put in the work, that it actually would pay off. And it's crazy how we end up getting signed, bro. We had made a lot of songs, and we just had them on great tapes. You know what I'm saying? We just had them on great tapes, and we was, hoping, having faith that somebody would hear it. And it was a dude named Sweet Leaf Jones. Rest in peace to the OG, Tootie Jones, man. Tootie Jones, man. We gave him a couple tapes. He listened to them, and he had a big cousin by the name of Willie Goodall and Spud at the time, Lamont Cephas. And he let them hear that music, man. And they was actually affiliated and connected on the staffing side and on the investment side with 918. And one thing led to another. They listened to it, listened to a couple tapes, then they flew us out, had us come record. And once they seen how, like I'm saying, we knocking out, we did 20 some songs. We did probably a total of 25 songs in 3 days, because that's how we was used to work. We was working with this guy named Big Man at the time, who was charging us about an hour, right? But it would take him 2 hours to make a beat. We had to pay for that time he's making the beat. So what we used to do was say, look, man, soon as he get to, as soon as he start putting the drum line and the bass line on, just start writing to it. And that's how we got fast, you know what I'm saying? To the point where, man, we was going in the studio, man, we knocking out songs in 10, 15 minutes, man. It's over with. The song is done. You know what I'm saying?
And
So we got real good
for the beat. He was charging you for the beat before y'all even. That's crazy. That's new to me.
Yeah, do that. Rest in peace, Big Man. And I can't. One thing about it, I don't get mad at him for doing none of that, because everything that led up to the moments, man. No matter if somebody was beating us on something here, skimming a few dollars on time, or it helped us perfect the craft and speed up to get to a professional level with that shit. Where, man, we was going in there, man, and the song is done in 15, 20 minutes. It's over with, man. We on to the next studio or on to the next song. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So who do you feel that it was that believed in you before anybody else did?
I believed in me first. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I say my mama and dad and my grandma, they always believed in me because they watched me play the sports. They seen some of the stuff that I overcame. You know what I'm saying? I was born with a hand. You know what I'm saying? I was born with a hand like this. It was wrapped around my mother's navel cord. So, and I was born left-handed. So they see me overcome physical deals by mastering sports, being better than, you know, a lot of people in this whole region with sports, playing quarterback and point guard. And I know people like, how you was dribbling with that hand, bro. Lot of practice made it where you couldn't tell, you know what I'm saying? And so I say mom and daddy was the first ones that instilled that, you know what I'm saying, that you don't have no limitations. You can do whatever that people do it even better than them. You know what I'm saying? So that was the first. And then, like I say, believing in myself, once they instilled that to me, and then to master it all, to top it off, my grandma, man, she was the first person that actually invested in me. She bought me some cleats. She used to buy all my athletic wear, my shoes, and keep me, you know, up to par for sports. So I, you know what I'm saying, stay, you know what I'm saying, stay with the proper equipment so I could perform at maximum potential. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, my family, man, the confidence, the ambition, the drive, all that come from my bloodline, man.
Yeah.
From my bloodline.
So I know you touched on, you know what I'm saying, like you and Claydoe Skrill putting Lethal together, but if you can go a little deeper, you know what I mean, how did y'all link up to form the group Lethal?
Me and Claydoe been together since the sandbox, since kindergarten.
Yeah.
Me and Claydoe been together since kindergarten. He was my best friend. I was his best friend. We both stayed with our grandma. We had basically the same story. And we connected, man, at a young age. I'm saying between like 6 and 7 years old, man, and never looked back. You know what I'm saying? And then he had a brother, he had a bunch of brothers, but the brother that we really connected with was the one that was under us. The other big brother then was always in the streets early. They was doing other shit. We was barely getting off the porch. But Skrill, my dude Skrill, and man, that's how we built that thing. We built that thing from the bottom up. We've been around each other forever, but we end up creating that group at I probably was about 17, Doe probably was 16, Skrill probably was probably about 14 when we created the rap group Lethal. It was all just a ideal. And shit, man, like I say, once we started investing in ourselves and just putting the work in, man, like we had over 300 something songs recorded, man, before we even got to a deal, you know what I'm saying, which gave us a whole bunch of reps to master what we was doing. And we had a lot of different styles. We had flip flows, slow flows, double entendre flows back then, all kind of punching that we was doing, metaphors. We was way ahead of the game for around these parts, you know what I'm saying? And we studied music too. Back then we would study, listen to albums, break down lyrics. You know what I'm saying? We was doing all that shit that they was doing with the Source magazine way before they was doing that shit, man. We was already on it. You know what I'm saying? We was already on there.
So when y'all was putting that the Chosen Few album together, what was the vision behind the album?
It all started off from Tootie Jones handing that stuff over to Willie Goodo and Spud, and then they brung Elo from 9180 in. Then they came to us, flew us out. We did a few songs. We came back home. Shit, about 2 weeks later, they came with a contract with some money. We didn't sign that initial contract. At that time, it was called B Down Records. They went back to the drawing board. We went back to the drawing board. We created some more songs, gave them back to Sweet Leaf again. Then Sweet Leaf ended up building a studio in his crib and coming up with his own brand. And they came back about 7-8 months later, man, with this label called Smugglin Records.
Yeah.
And shit, the rest, man, is history. We went on to sell 300-something thousand units. You know what I'm saying? Collectively, it was kind of how Master P had put together how he was dropping the album and he would always have the coming soon or the next projects. We kind of basically adopted that same format. We had 4 trucks totally wrapped back then, the first people in this whole region to do it. You know what I'm saying? Our faces all on, we moving billboards, you know what I'm saying? And we did music like we had no budget. So when we used to show up, right, and I know this kind of going a little ahead of some of the questions, we used to show up to like major events or to like major cities. We would be down there with Yukmouth. We'd be out there with Bushwick Bill. We'd be out there with a lot of people that were signed on major deals. Brother Lynch hung. You name a lot of dudes that was actually flirting around with signing with Master P and things like that. They had a limited budget. We had no cap. We had no limit on what we could spend, so we could go get any artist that we wanted. You know what I'm saying? At the time, we was back then. You know, in order to build an album back then, bro, on that magnitude, you're spending over $250,000. The beats alone was over 10K. Beats alone. We started doing deals where we say, okay, they want 10,000 a beat. Let's lock in with a session. Give us a discount on these tracks. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna work with you. We're gonna continue. We're gonna lock this in and make a sound. That's what we did with Mike Mosley. Mike Mosley did us a nice deal for about 75,000. He created the majority of that Lethal album. Damn all of it, except for a couple songs that DJ Terrifying did. And shit, we went out there to Vegas, recorded that shit in 3 days. You know what I'm saying? Ran into a lot of people. We had the Mac guys show up there. We had Yuck show up out there. We had Mike Mosley was already there. We had Pimpy Kev showed up out there. We had who else showed up out there? That chick Peaches from Thin Line. We had a lot of people showing up there coming to fuck with us in that lab, man. It was just a beautiful time. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful time.
Yeah, because I mean, y'all was gonna ask, like, how did those features from Yukmouth, Kokane, Devin, you know what I mean, all those. I had a lot of features. You know what I mean?
Well, before if I gotta take you back before the leak, I gotta take you back to it was a dude named Kim Dale. See, I can't leave out none of this history because, and my story is it's a little different from Claydoe's and it's a little different from Skrill's. Now, before Lethal signed the deal in 1998, 99, and went on to put that Lethal album out in 2000, there was a dude named Kim Dale that had a store called Fat Gear back on 61st in Peoria. Now, this is what I used to hang out there, stay out there, and do my thing. You know what I'm saying? We was hustling. And I ran into Kim Dale. Like I said, me and Claydoe used to do a lot of freestyling as kids and shit like that, at a young age. So Kim Dale wanted me and a couple of my homeboys to come model some of the clothes that he had at the clothing store. He was doing a fashion show. And man, this fashion show was lit, bro. This is before Rip the Runway. This is before 106 at Park. This is like 97, 96, somewhere in there. We modeled for him. I modeled clothes for Wayman Tisdale stuff too. But we modeled for Kim Dale. And I used to take rap music up there and just freestyle and fuck with it. We'd be laughing. And he was like, man, you know what? I'm gonna do a compilation called Midwest Finest. We talked about it, and for sure, he started putting time and effort into it. And he the one that initially linked me with Kokane. So I knew Kokane way before Lethal even came about. I knew Kokane. I did a song with Kokane called Oklahoma Funk on the Midwest Finest, on that Midwest Finest album. I had maybe 2 or 3 songs on that album. I had songs with Hennessy and Lil Weirdo. I had a song with Kokane on there. I think I had one more song on there as well too, though. Yeah, so he the first one that locked me in with Kokane. But after that, though, Spud already had to connect with Mike Mosley. He already was rotating with Mike, and he knew them. And Elof already had Mike Dean and Mr. leading them from Non Factor down there in Houston, which allowed us to fuck with Fifth Ward Boys, all of them guys down there, Addy Boys, Mark Twain, Devin the Dude, UGK. That's how we was able to lock in with all of them guys back then. You know what I'm saying? It's through ELO. And then the West Coast, Spud had the connection on the West Coast. So that's how we was able to lock in with Brother Lynch, Yukmouth, a few more other guys from out there that we fought, Levitti, E40, Be Legit, Sugar T. This is how we was able to lock in with all them people as well on that end. Sibo, you know what I'm saying? So, it was just a beautiful time. And at that time, like, the underground market was thriving because you had Southwest distribution. And motherfuckers back then, bro, the pre-sale, the PRs was like the pre-orders, the POs. I mean, the pre-orders was like $7.99 to $9.99. That we could sell 5,000 units, 10,000 units, depending on how well we popping and moving in the market, because everything was being charted at that time back then. But we could pre-sell 10,000 units and get a check cut, bro, and then send the product straight over to Southwest distribution. And they was putting it in all the stores. Now they was selling it in the stores for $11.99 to $12.99. And then the stores was marking the CDs up to $17.25 with taxes. So that's how everybody ate. And when they killed them, the distribution companies, the independent distribution companies that brought in the streaming, they really killed a lot of the money until we figured it out now how to win with the streaming. You know what I'm saying? But it's gotta be 7 streams that lead to an ocean. So we're streaming now, we doing podcasts, we got music, we got content on how to do it. We got all kind, we vlog it. So we just building a whole bunch of different streams to build it up, because the streaming money is minute to how it was back then. Like I say, 60,000 units back then is $600K.
Yeah.
Cash.
I didn't know that.
You know what I'm saying? So it was a way different market. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out your channel as well, though.
Yeah, I got the God Talk 144. It's on my page, the Antonio Martell page on Facebook. I really ain't never took it to YouTube like I should. I always just do it on there, because for me, at the point in time that I did it, I was, like I said, I was being unlocked to talk about certain things. My DNA strands began to come back online about 2004. 2004 is when I started having like crazy visions, man, like with real detail. And it then led me all the way up to this point. And I remember one time you said something to me on the book that made me have to go start looking at the Moorish history. So I had to start doing the dive in there. You know what I'm saying? I said, man, what is this little kid folk talking about? So I went and dived in, and man, you know, this thing is full circle, family. It's a full circle deal. And we've been robbed. You know what I'm saying? We've been robbed as a whole, as a people. We've been robbed from our identities, our nationalities, our inheritance, our loyal titles to the land. You know,
birthright.
All these corporations. It's heavy. You know, but at the same time, we still the real gods. We still the inventors of everything that everybody is profiting from. You know, so it's yeah, music. It's nothing that we didn't invent. We invented everything. All genres of music. The Olmecs build the rubber ball games, which is the Tuttle Sheep people. You know, we've been called Inca, Mayan, Olmec, Aztec. We've been called so many names. Mormon. We've been called all kind of names. Black, colored, Negro, African American, Afro American. I mean, you name it. But it's the same people that's of this land where we at here. You know what I'm saying? And
same skin tone.
Yeah, it's us. And it's an app mystery, because you did have Chaldeans here, you had Egyptians here, you had Assyrians here. You know what I'm saying? You had Hebrew people that they call in Hebrew here. You know, you had Moors here, you had Murs here. All these people, this is an app mystery. And that's why we pure blood. We the real pure blooded people, man. And people don't understand, you know, they don't understand, you know, the greatness that's lying in your veins. Man,
something simple that I tell people, when you look at the Mayan murals, they got various colors: greens, blues, yellows. They got all colors. But when you look at their skin tone,
it's us.
You know what I'm saying? So if they got all these various shades, why would they paint this if that wasn't them?
Yeah. And they even showing locks and braids in some of them and some of them paint. You know, a lot of the Olmec heads, they don't show you the back of the stone. They don't show you the back of the statue, because it's locks and braids. You know what I'm saying? They had box braids, the same braids that they wearing now. They was doing, ain't nothing new under the sun, man. We the same people who actually formed the land. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I mean form, I mean harvest the agriculture here. It's only 640 seeds in this whole world, and over 600 of them is native to this continent where we at. This is the real, true old world.
Our DNA,
you know, this is, yeah.
You know what I'm
They
saying?
did that. They did something called the Mendel's Law, where they went around and they was doing all those DNA helixes to the lands they was on. And they found out we had 12 to 15 strands of DNA strands, man, which we different from everybody, even the Africans. They only had 9. I want people, anybody to tune into this, go look at the Mendel's Law when you get a chance. And like I say, don't let it puff you up. Allow it to unlock some of your greatness by when you know something is different than believing it. You know what I'm saying? When you know it, you can actually experience it. When you believe in it, it's still a possibility that it might not be there. But when you know it, it's a whole different way that you can, that you can actually apply that knowledge, man, and that wisdom. You know what I'm saying? We've been creating, though, our people been creating for a long time, and we created all the cities, the mailing systems. You name everything that people use. You found out that we had the flight plans and the airplanes before the Hughes brothers did. All this stuff has been hijacked from us, man. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, it's these people that's doing business on stolen land. These corporations is doing business on stolen land. These people owe us land taxes. They owe us rent. They owe us mineral rights. They owe us all kind of equity in their businesses for erecting businesses on stolen land. It's so much that we are owed right now as a full people, as the people of this land who are coming back to the knowledge of self in this time that we're in right now, which is the sun cycle. We're in a sun cycle right now. And that sun cycle is letting off different rays of information, and it's called gamma radiation. It's called UV, X-class, M-class, C-class flares. Those flares is what bring back animation to nature, which when you see the springtime come, how all the insects and animals and the flowers and grass start coming back alive, it's the same thing with our strands of DNA.
That's the real new year. That's when the earth, that's when it starts over.
That's right. That's the real new year, the spring. Now, we go through spring and winter, spring, summer, fall, winter in a 13-month cycle. But the earth got a year too. It's called an epoch, which is 26,000 years. 26,000 years, the planet it's a full deal where it's a reset.
I like how you said 13, because some of them they're gonna be like, "What? We got 12." Now it's 13. They don't know.
It's 13 months.
Yeah, they don't know the origins of where it came from.
Yeah, it's 13 months. Just like each half of each luminary body that's in the air is a 13,000 year cycle too, which makes the whole cycle 26,000. So the planet goes through 6,500 years of the planet cooling. Then it goes through a 6,500 year period of the planet freezing. They call that an ice age, but it's a cosmic winter is what it really is, when the whole planet damn near freeze. And we have to stay close to that equator because it's just going Arctic. But then it's a time when it switch over, which they call in the beginning of the golden era, which it commenced in 2019. But that's the beginning of the spring 6,500 year where the planet begins to warm. See, and a lot of the scientists, a lot of these physicists, like I said, they had this thing called the World Forum with all of the world governments. They ain't at war with each other. They had a doomsday clock talking about when the crossing happened, which the crossing is when we move from the last times of the ice age back into the sun cycle, which is the true return of the Son of God. It ain't no man. It's a sun cycle. It's a cycle when this thing, the planet, the planetary body in the cosmos begin to re-sync, and the cosmos begin to start coming lower toward the earth again. It ascends, which makes it cold, and it descends, which makes it begin to warm again. After that 6,500 years of it warming, it's going to go into what you call the summertime, which when it do that, that's when they're saying that the planet burned like an oven. And see, they done a lot of carbon dating. They went down and seen times when it was petrified, and they went down more and they seen times when everything was molten, like it was melted like lava. So they already have all this history recorded. that we talking about right now. They already know that we in a cycle. Time is not linear. Time is secular. It comes around. Time don't just go out and disappear. It come and keep circling. And these cycles that we in right now, these epochs been going on for eons. It ain't nothing. These epochs are brand new. This is why so many countries have actual whole underground cities. They already been dealing with this stuff, man. This is nothing new. We just now coming back into the knowledge of it because everything has been hid from us. You know what I'm saying?
Like you said, it's coming back
in
the knowledge of the sun. But
yeah.
I wanted to ask you, what was the Tulsa music scene like back then compared to now?
Now, I say now it's way more talent. Back then it was talent, but it was like sprinkled. Everybody wasn't really like everybody didn't have the real industry sound back then. There was only a few people that had like a real sound, like they already sound like that shit is already gone. Now, it's a lot of talent out here, man. Everywhere I go, I mean, between here, Oklahoma City, and even the small cities, it's so much talent in these places, man. It's a bunch of talent.
Was there a specific moment that you thought, you know what I'm saying, that y'all were about to break through nationally?
Yeah, once we actually went nationwide with Radio 1 with that I Don't Do Nothing With Myself But Get High song with Levitti on the hood. So we actually broke through. That song was being played everywhere on the West Coast, on the East, in the Mid, in the South. That song was being played all over the nation.
I was just listening to that before we started recording.
Yeah. That song got played all over the country.
So what was it like then signing Smugglin and 918?
Like Smugglin Records, man, like I say, they changed my life. They changed my life, man. Because they invested in the talent. They invested in the dream. And man, we went everywhere we went, bro. I'm not bull crapping. Everywhere we went, I don't care what artist is in there. At that time, whoever, I don't care who it was, bro. When we come in there, man, it's everybody listening.
Yeah.
It was like that. You know what I'm saying? It was like that. Everybody, and they was respecting. They couldn't even believe we was from Oklahoma. You know what I'm saying? They like these niggas from Oklahoma. They couldn't believe it.
Sound like it.
Yeah, they couldn't believe we was from Oklahoma.
So when you reissued the album with the DVD in 2004, what made you decide to bring it back out?
Well, that wasn't my decision at the time. That was so Skrill had got locked up. This is when we started actually running into some of the first complications with us all getting locked up. So Skrill got locked up. He was already gone to the state pen. And so they wanted to redo the album. They wanted to re-release it. You know what I'm saying? Re-release the album with a different cover, package it different. And Skrill wasn't able to be on the project at that time. So me and Claydoe, they did it like it was a magazine shoot. You know what I'm saying? So me and Claydoe, we went out there, we flew out there, got us a couple outfits, went to this is back when Pen and Pixel was doing all the album covers. We shot out to Pen and Pixel, and they shot that album cover for us right there. When we already had all that footage. All that footage was already taken. They just had to edit it and bring it in, and then that's how they re-released it. But we re-released it through Southwest. But this is crazy that you say this because at the time that album, reason why we had to re-release it, Southwest went into bankruptcy and had everybody's music tied up in there. And we had to sue them to get the album out. But by the time we got that album, the old album out, that's the whole reason why they want to re-release it and do something else, bring it out, repackage it, and bring it back out again. Because the album actually got stuck inside of that litigation with Southwest Records, Southwest Distribution.
So let's talk about the good times. You know what I'm saying? Like the tours, the shows, studio sessions. Let's talk about some stories you'll never forget.
One of the things I would never forget is when we went down to Oklahoma City. We did the statewide fest in Oklahoma City, and it was like a 3-day event, bro. They had Prophet Jones, they had Public Announcement with R. Kelly, they had Cuckoo Cow, Kiki Wyatt, Nelly, us. It was like 3 days of probably about 30-something artists. Ray J, that's when Ray J got his necklace. Ray J got his necklace snatched at the hotel that he was in. Dude from Oklahoma City rode his bike up there and snatched the man's necklace after the concert. But that, you know, that thing was, man, it was crazy out there, man. It was so packed. Man, we got off the stage, man, got back in the limo, went back to the hotel. We got to the hotel, man. We couldn't even really pull up and go in. There was so many women just piled up at the hotel, man. We couldn't even. That was one of the most memorable moments right there, man. We couldn't even really get out right there, man. We had to leave for a while before we could even come back in there. It was crazy, bro. It was crazy.
When we deal with the studio sessions, like who were some of your favorite artists to work with back then?
Back then, man, my favorite artist to work with, man, it was Claydoe Skrill, you know what I'm saying? But outside of them,
like the
I say ELO. Outside of them was ELO. And then outside of the team, I say, man, because a lot of them dudes, man, they weren't even finishing their stuff when we was there with them. We were leaving, and they was finishing it. So who would get in there with us and just go time for time, bar for bar with us? I'm gonna say, shit. I'm gonna say Levitti, man. I'm gonna say one of the dudes that was on the hooks.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times, bro, when we went in there and we go in there with the guys and we record, it was taking the guys, man, hours, man, 10, 12 hours to finish the verse, bro. We ended out that motherfucker 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. It's done. You know, I ain't gonna put him out there, but you know, I got some guys that have vouched for this, man. One of them guys, man, took them the whole day, man, to write a verse. He rewrote his verse about 3 times.
Was there ever a major deal or opportunity you feel like you let slip away?
It was a time, man, when Sony Records came to get me solo, and the OG he didn't let it happen. He didn't give me up. And I always tell him, because you didn't let Sony take me and do what you're supposed to do, we all end up going to the feds. We all laugh about it, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was a time when Sony came to grab me, man, and that but they wouldn't negotiate with him.
See, I didn't have those questions in here, but since you brought it up, you know what I mean? So can we talk about what led to the feds? We ain't got to go into the details of them, but you know what I mean, just a little bit.
Misappropriation of funds, as far as taking the money, not invest. We supposed to took the money and invested in us, or invested in things that would continue to bring perpetual income. But at the time, you know, we young, we done watched our parents work, and all of us had the same mentality. Me and Skrill, we took ours and invested in the game. Claydoe invested in a different game than we did, but it was still a game. You know what I'm saying? And we all went to hustle. You know what I'm saying? And we had a cool run up until it went bad. You know? But back then, like you couldn't get away with what you can get away now, man. You know what I'm saying? You had to really have some paper to be playing around in that game. Like I say, them beats was over 10K a track. Features was 20, 30,000. Plus you was having to get them features signed off on by their companies, which was going to hit you for another 10. So it was like, it's crazy. It was costing like 50, 60 to go on 106 and Park back then. I mean, it was, it was, everything was big money play back then. You know what I'm saying? So
You know that. That's the behind the
really
scenes.
couldn't.
You know that.
It wasn't like this digital shit where we could just upload. You know what I'm saying? Like to be in the rooms, you had to pay, bro. And I'm talking about per head. They ain't you paying for the whole team. You it's per head.
See, I done
So
talked to a couple of older, you know what I'm saying, G's and the music thing, and what you just brought up as far as having to get the work ethic back then that you had to put in versus uploading on the streaming service now.
Yeah.
Can
Now don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted because you got more tools now. You know what I'm saying? Because back then we had to go to a nigga to record everything. Now, my nephew, one of the coldest engineers around here, man. Any dude can make me sing, make it seem like I could really sing on a track.
Yeah.
Is him. And but he bought his own lab, he self-taught, he played by ear, he got a pro, he dealing with Pro Tools and Logic, and he mastered them programs, got his own presets, and man, that shit sound like, bro, it sound like what we was trying to achieve then now. You know what I'm saying? For us that real big industry, crispy, clean sound, you know what I'm saying? And so it's more tools now, and you can get more reps in without having to spend as much, you know what I'm saying, as it was back then. Then you go on the internet now, you got industry beats all day long. Back then, man, it wasn't that many people who could make a beat like Mike Mosley or Beats by the Pound or one of them, Dr. Dre. It wasn't a lot of people, DJ Quick, but a lot of people could make them type of beats that had them sounds that we loved. You know what I'm saying? You just didn't have a lot of producers who could make them beats like that back then. But now, shit, that shit is, it's a dime a dozen. You know what I'm saying? It's everywhere.
Yeah, everybody making them.
Yeah, I ain't heard no trash music, bro, in a long time. I'm talking about for as rap styles, delivery, production. Only thing I would, say that I don't like all the time from the young artists now is just the upping and killing all people in the tracks. There's so much other shit to rap about, you know what I'm saying? But I just don't like the, nigga, how many people you gonna kill on the album? Or how many niggas you gonna spin on? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know you gonna get it off because that's a part of the culture, but it's only so much of that need to be put per project, man. You know what I'm saying? If all your singles is about upping and spinning, blowing something down, you show not opening up your catalog because you got a catalog, man, inside of you, man, that you can. And I mean, you can still make everything hard and nice. You know what I'm saying? It just ain't got to be that. You know what I'm saying? But I respect all the hustles. I respect everybody's music. You know what I'm saying? I used to be the same way. You know what I'm saying? I wanted every song, man, that I shit about that I knew. You know what I'm saying? Come to find out, I really didn't know shit. When I started getting out of here, seeing, motherfuckers like Slim Thug, I pulled up on Slim Thug back then. Me, Elo, Claydoe Skrill, we pull up on Slim Thug. He already in Bentleys. He cutting Bentleys, putting foes on them back then before foes was even out. He had cut a Bentley, cut the fender well, already out there, independent, eating, balling. They ain't talking about killing nothing. Everybody talking about having a bag, what they own. You know, and bro, one thing about this manifestation shit that we do, especially when you rapping. When you rapping, you hear me sinking the left and right hemisphere of the brain. Now, this is scientific that we, stuff that we done found out over the years. That's why everything that I rapped about came to pass. Even the 12 years in the feds, I got exactly 12 years. I rapped about all that shit, and all that shit came to pass. What we found out is that when you doing that, when you rapping, you using them rhymes, the motors, and you constantly doing them chants and singing them songs over and over. Yeah, you hardwiring this stuff into this matrix, man, into what we call in the quantum world or the ether field or what they call in the spiritual world or the kingdom. It's got all kind of names. You know what I'm saying? The prana. But we hardwire things in, and through the magic of imagination, emotion, and words, you causing things to come from a gas state to a solid state. It's coming from gas as your ideal or what you envisioning, and then it's going to a liquid, which is the emotions is like water, and then you coming out of your mouth with it. Once you let it come out your mouth, man, this thing gonna take manifestation. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happened. I'm talking about from the cars, the money, clothes, the women, to actually rapping about going to the feds, man, way before any of that shit happened, bro. It had it came to pass. And I didn't see rappers rap about death. I didn't see, I mean, we got so many examples of how powerful these words, especially when we use it. Like I said, the gift of prophecy is using these words, rhyming, speaking things into existence, speaking the future before it happens. We are the masters of that. That's why we got to really watch what we're saying, especially when we're playing with this music. You know what I'm saying? The word muse itself, when you do the etymology to these words, man, they mean way more than what we've been taught.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
So you know what I mean? Like, all right, so Lethal had, they had like y'all had y'all 9-year run. What led to y'all going y'all separate ways?
The feds. They locked up. That's what broke up everything. When we got, I wouldn't did 9 calendars. They really did 14. Skrill did 10. Claydoe was still out here. Claydoe dropped Turn Pro. He dropped Energy. He dropped about 3-4 albums while we was gone. Claydoe still was working while we was gone. I still got some of his new stuff. I bumping shit week to week.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Claydoe still was working, but the rest of us was locked up. Spud, they caught a case out of Sherman, Texas. Willie caught a case. Willie ended up catching he caught a state case. Then he ended up, all that shit happening with us, he ended up getting hit on the backside of my case. You know what I'm saying? I was already gone for a few years when he got hit. So, it was a downfall, man. The whole thing went down.
When you came home, did you keep making music or did you step away for a moment?
When I came home, man, I had no desire to fuck with no music, man. I said I just wanted to come home, man, and settle in. I told baby when I came home, when she picked me up, I was like, man, I just want to ride and see the city, because I hadn't rolled in the car in so long. Everything had changed. We didn't have, it wasn't no internet, wasn't no camera phones, wasn't no Facebook, or none of that shit when I left. Wasn't no casinos, bro. Wasn't no highways running like they running this shit. All the shit was different. So that was my first thing, just to see what this shit was, to readjust. To even think if I was gonna still stay in touch. You know what I'm saying? And I was on that probation, so I really, really couldn't do too much. But my cousin Ken Barnes, Pimpin' K, PK, he said, man, you know what? I want to put something together called Cash on Deck. Man, he came to the house. And he went. He got my nigga Country, Ronnie Dixon. He pulled him over to the house, and we had my little cousin Alan Johnson. They called him King Rookie. Then my other cousin Wes Rax. So it was then my one of my partners, man, for many moons, Young Hog. You know what I'm saying? Hog came, and it all started. It was a movement. You know what I'm saying? I was, man, you got to do something. So I did. The first song I did was "I'm So Tulsa." Not nigga, I'm from Tulsa, but I'm so Tulsa. Me and Green Country did that, and that's what pretty much started it. That's what started me even fucking with the studio again. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we ran up probably 40, 50 songs right quick. You know what I'm saying? We did like 2 or 3 chapters of that Cash on Deck project.
Yeah. Like I know you still record, you know what I mean, a little bit now here and there. But what's your main focus these last few years?
These last few years, really just obtaining obtaining all the knowledge I could about my personal bloodline, my people, my grandmothers on both sides, my grandfathers on both sides, how we got to Oklahoma. You know what I'm saying? What part of that downtown belonged to me? Basically, just the heritage and the history of getting all my stuff back that's been stolen from my bloodline. That's what I've really been on. Like, you know what I'm saying, in the last few years. and it actually it led to me creating a couple songs. You know what I'm saying? And then like I said, every now and then I like to challenge myself. So I wanted to see if I could do an R&B album with the auto tune. I jumped up, did that. That was the first album I actually did with no pen. Like I used to do some songs with no pen, but that's the actual whole album. I didn't use no pen. All that album is just straight off. It's just whatever moment I was in, whatever I was feeling, I just recorded it off the head. The album came out crazy though. You know
what inspired you to do that one?
It was too much killing in the music. So it was so much killing in the music. And I like I say, I like to listen to, because dudes be, they be nice, man. They be having crazy punchline, crazy cadences, crazy chants, stupid hooks. I mean, it's talented brothers, but everybody's spiel was kill something that looked like them. The op was always something that looked like them. Was always take a nigga head, do this. So I told baby, I said, baby, it's so much killing in the music. I think I'm gonna do me another album. It's gonna be a love album. And we all laughed about it. You know what I'm saying? And shit, I did it. You know what I'm saying? It ended up coming out. So I tried to make some shit. I tried to go back to I tried to renaissance it with having an older 80s feel to it, like you would have some Rick James, Morris Day type feels to some of them tracks, but yet bring it into now with this lingo, with the auto tune. You know what I'm saying? It came out kind of crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? I was surprised but my nephew, like I say, he put a crazy mix on that motherfucker, man. Rung it all the way out.
So I mean, what else you got going on? I know you got, you know what I'm saying, besides the rapping music, the business, mentoring, any events, clothing?
Yeah, so right now, I got the God Talk Go 44, podcast where I haven't been doing it in a while. I've been banned off a couple sites, man, behind some of this epoch knowledge and information about the land being ours, and you know what I'm saying, this 13th, 14th Amendment, you know what I'm saying, who these Native Americans really are. You know what I'm saying? Who all these invaders and immigrants are. You know what I'm saying? So I've been banned off a couple of platforms. So I kind of dial back on the knowledge. I do a lot when I see people, you know what I'm saying, when they have the time. Now I got the clothesline too, Morocco Omari. I got a few clothesline. This one right here is the Morocco, the baller foul part of the collection of the Morocco Omari. Got Morocco Omari, which is really a Morocco Omari, spelled Amari, but I pronounce it Omari. I got another one called Tamari Originals. I got another one called Extra Pape Collective. Got another one called Red Dirt Originals, which is dealing with the 1830 migration of the Indian Removal Act to Oklahoma, when we started that first grocery store off tilling the land, which led into what you had was the Black Wall Street. And I got another one. It's kind of like a penthouse type deal. It's I can't even think. I can't even think of it, man, right now. But I got probably about 4 or 5 clothing lines that I'm developing. But the Morocco Omari is the one that actually been getting the traction. I've been sending stuff to Ohio, California, New York, Texas, everywhere. I made it like some designer stuff, but you know what I'm saying, it's actually, you know what I'm saying, talking about some of this stuff that's going on with our bloodline, you know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much it. Then we got fashion show coming up for 2026 springtime. We got the Hog Fest coming up. Oh, and then we got a grand opening on one of my investments that I got with my partner down there in Oklahoma City. It's called Eddie's Edible in Oklahoma City. It's located on Lincoln Street. It's a edible shop down there.
Okay.
So, we working, man. We doing a little bit, and we still full-time working as well too. So, we got our hands in a lot of things we creating. I want to get to some more digital performing tools. That's why I got to come sit down with the young masterminds like you, so we can sit down, man, and make some of this stuff profitable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, we're gonna make that happen. We're gonna talk about that. We can make that happen. I know you say you listen to a couple of young artists, you know what I mean, around the town, but Are there any artists in Tulsa right now you think really doing their thing right now?
Oh yeah, most definitely. You know, Young Don.
Yeah.
What's his rap name though? You know what I'm
That's,
talking about?
I'm thinking about a whole different Don. No, not the Bash.
Nah, this is he a rapper. I can't think of his full rap name. It'll come to me. But all of them guys, they that's steady putting on. I seen young June 5-1 just drop some new stuff. It was nice. I seen Lil Huncho. He always got some nice stuff. You know what I'm saying? Jay Hustle he always had nice shit. Khalid Bellinelli, Lil Crit, you know he gonna drop that hot sauce. 30, you know he gonna drop that hot sauce. Turf Hall, you know he gonna drop that hot. Even Lil Kinfolk Martise is dope as fuck.
Yeah.
Nasty. You know what I'm saying? He dropping hot shit. And then it's just a lot of Cuddy forever. It's a lot of these dudes, you know, Dre the Stacker straight, you know, him and my little brother, man. They some of the most nastiest dudes around here too. You know what I'm saying? So you know, it's so many, there's so many other artists around here that you know what I'm saying, that they constantly staying consistent and working. Because one thing about I see about Tulsa that it's just not no like one personal. Like dudes is nice, man. Dudes is nice. You know Prez, man. That's my little brother, man. Prez one of the coldest. Prez nasty. You know, you got Gator still doing this thing. You got Doja still doing this thing. Manifest still doing this thing. A plethora of young artists. That I might not even know their name, but I done seen some of their stuff. I built the Oklahoma radio station on YouTube, man, probably about 10 years ago, eight years ago. And everybody that was doing something at that time, you know what I'm saying, I thought it was over 100 some artists on there. I don't even know. It might still be on YouTube. I ain't listened to it in a while, but it was a lot of artists. Even some of them ain't even alive no more, man. There's so many artists, man. I had dudes from the city, Tulsa, everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
It's a lot of talent down here. It's a lot of artists, like you said. It's a lot you can't even name. It's a lot though.
Yeah, so many of them. You know, everybody nice, man. Everybody, I like what people is doing. I like the hustle, the consistency. There's more visuals now, you know what I'm saying? So you get to really see the artist more, you know what I'm saying? Then it's a lot of artists that ain't even put nothing out. This dope as fuck. They ain't even dropped nothing yet. You know, one of my favorite artists here is Tay Marcus, the singer. That's one of my favorite artists in Oklahoma. Tay Marcus, the singer.
I gotta shout out my guy Doobie or Doobie 7 as he go by now. You know what I'm saying? He made that move to Atlanta with A Dizzle. But you know what I'm saying? They killing they doing their thing now.
Yeah. A Dizzle hard as fuck. You know, like I say, it's so many of these dudes, man. You can't even name all of them. But the beautiful thing is, you know what I'm saying, is that this music is in our genetic code, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's actually ways to actually bring yourself out of a certain frequency into another frequency. They call it quantum jumping. You know what I'm saying? Especially you start putting that music trajectory into shit that's gonna cause things to come to you that benefit you. Instead of demise you, you're gonna win even more, bro. You're gonna win. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna win even more.
What's one thing you think today's artists, you know what I'm saying, have better than you had in your era, and one thing that they missing?
The one thing I say that they have is the internet, the tool of the internet, which for the social media or marketing is. Back then, we had to go to all those places to actually make an impact. Now, if you get hot and you famous, you start getting the buzz, you get to hit that button. I mean, you everywhere in the world on that internet. Now, the one thing, then the one more advantage they have from back then is that, like I say, everybody got studios at home now. that's actually industry quality all the way around.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the one thing I say that gives us the edge on them far as the financial aspect of it was the liquid money, man. That back then, like I say, sales was $9.99. That was $10, man, a disc.
Mm-hmm.
And if you like I said, you had pre-orders, bro, you already had your money in your hand before you did any concerts or anything. If you was
Yeah.
independent, and you could actually pre or get 50,000 pre-orders, that's a $50 in your hand. Before taxes, that was a $50.
Yeah. So you
It's a
eating still.
$50. Listen, you drop 2 to 3 times a year, that's 1.5. That's just off 150 sales, 150,000 sales.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Liquid money. So that's why you see so many motherfuckers having an album out and then all the coming soon albums being marketed on the inside of the album cover because they was collecting that money off the muscle. You see what I'm saying? They was getting pre-orders for them albums, running up a real bag.
That makes
But
sense.
the marketing now, back then you could make more money with less interactions. Now you can get broader faster and you still can make that type of money, but you just got to impact way more people. You know what I'm saying? Back then, 150,000 pre-orders, man, is 1.5 million.
Yeah, because 150,000 likes versus, like you said, 150,000 actual, you know what I'm saying, pre-orders is a big difference.
Hell yes, the money wise.
Yeah.
But at the same time, just imagine if you got them streams, you got 1.5 million people, 3 million people watching you, but you got that shit on 60 videos. So it's really the same equivalence of that type of money. You just got to put in more work, more visuals and shit like that. But it still get that same money still could be made. They make a lot more money in this generation based off uh actually concert sales and then residual streaming and just doing all kind of different other shit on the internet other than just music. You know what I'm saying? Back then we was making a lot of the money just off the straight music. You know what I'm saying? The video, you wasn't even in my era, videos and shit was just now getting the pop because they really had no outlets to really have the music videos like that until 106 and Park came and then Rap City and Rap City back then, yo MTV Raps and Rap City, that shit was so New York biased that you weren't even getting on them stations. You know what I'm saying? Coming from where we was coming from.
They wasn't showing no love, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't to 106 and Park came that niggas even from this area even had an opportunity to be on them type of shows.
If you can give a piece of game to an upcoming Tulsa artist, what would you give them?
Stay consistent. For one, get all your business shit together, man. Make sure you own everything. Get all your business shit together. If you can, create you a company based around you and your partners to do the same thing. You're going to get more money dealing as a company versus just dealing as an individual. You know what I'm saying? Build consistency, stay growing because technology is changing about every 4 months. About every third of the year, technology is switching. Even on how it's being did on the internet for us the schematics of how things is working, the mechanics. So I say keep somebody around you that's basically always knowing when the changes is happening. Stay ahead of the curve. Stay consistent. Keep dropping. Keep promoting. And as the money come in, invest in things outside of the music. Invest in tangible things such as real estate. Invest in the businesses. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. And just get your merch right and just keep going, just keep creating and growing. You know what I'm saying? Start buying land. Just become, because you seeing what they doing now. You seeing Bootsy, you seeing what Rick Ross is doing. You seeing dudes getting these acreages now. Dudes going back to the land. You know what I'm saying? So it's just just keeping reinventing yourself, man, and learning, adding more tools to your tool bag.
Just, yeah, hope y'all taking it in. But if you could put together a Tulsa Dream Team album today, who's on it?
A Tulsa Dream Team album?
Yeah.
How many people do I got to put on?
I didn't want to do 5 because it's too many to put a number on it. So I mean, I'm gonna let's go with 7.
If I could do a Dream Team album right now, let's say a Dream Team compilation, I would have Young Hustlers, the whole team.
Mm-hmm.
I would have Dre Stacker, Young 30. I have my whole team. I have June 5-1. I gotta have some dudes in the city that I rock with too. You know what I'm saying? But if we just talking about the Tulsa end, you know, I have Isco Say back then. Isco Say. I'm trying to think of all the dudes that was really like they had their own motion back then.
Mm-hmm.
I have to fool with Metal Nettle. I can't leave the guys. All of them dudes got bars.
Yeah.
So I would make I basically make an album of dudes from the mid late 90s up into the like 2005, 2006 era.
Yeah.
You know, that's really the people who I really know. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the other people, I know who some of them is, but I don't really know them like that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never got to work with them. So, but those are the guys that I would go with, like these dudes right around here that I grew up with, the same dudes that was in the same circles. I pop up in Houston, they in Houston. We pop up in Atlanta, they in Atlanta. We at Myrtle Beach, they at Myrtle Beach. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of dudes around here that had their own motion back then. They was moving around. Can't forget 9 Miller and Pac-Man. Gotta have them on the album.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I forgot you, this not no shot at nobody. You hear me? I'm just, there's so much on my mind right now. But, it's a lot of my guys around here that had real motion, man, when we was having motion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see Big Rob, I mean, what's
D-Rob. Now they before us. D-Rob, Player 1000, DC Boys, Versatile, Portrait, all them groups is before my time, but these is the dudes that I influenced me coming from the 80s when I was young. Because my daddy was in bands, but it was dudes that was starting to get into the rap shit and they was taking it serious, you know what I'm saying? But this is when Oklahoma had kind of a New York essence to it. They had a lot of graffiti and shit like that going on, break dance and stuff like that. My era was more of the West Coast era, like, the Sac era, the early LA area. You know what I'm saying? It was more of that when I came, when we started actually adapting to the rap music, But before us, it was kind of like an East Coast's feel to it. You had dudes break dances, graffitiing, it was a lot of that going on with the rap. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm.
Then we adapt, we adjusted. But do you think Tulsa has what it takes to be a major hip hop hub?
Well, if we technically speaking, it already is. I mean, you got Charlie Wilson that came out this piece. You got OG that played he played with Charlie Wilson, and then he went on to play with a lot of other bands. I can't think of his name right now. You got Lethal that came out of this motherfucker. 918. These is all regional and national artists. You had Portrait, the singing group Portrait that came out of this motherfucker. And I'm just talking about the Tulsa. So I ain't even talking about Oklahoma, because Oklahoma City got a lot of motherfuckers that went out of there. You got Nitro. You got Bucket Low. You got There's a lot of dudes that's out that way too that put on and then made it. That got my brother Gouda Man. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of dudes out there that done a lot of shit too, and then had deals and done a whole bunch and still doing shit. My nigga SB, you know, Bad Folks, the Twins, all these dudes. You know what I'm saying? I done locked in with all these dudes. You know what I'm saying? You got dude named 90 Bone out there was going, called it for years. You got it's a lot of them out there. It's a lot of them I can't think of like right off the head, but you know what I'm saying? It's Polo.
Yeah.
You got Chris Cutter, the producer out there. You got DJ Wayne. You know what I'm saying? You got Dark Side, Moon, the legendary Moon, Diamond District. You got, I mean, it's a whole bunch of them guys out there that had a whole bunch of rotation too. So if we talk in Oklahoma, I'm gonna say it's already been a hub that a lot of the industry motherfuckers done picked this talent from and done actually made money with some, even exploited some guys. Some guys got beat, you know, got put in fucked up deals. You know what I'm saying? You know, but it's it's a bunch of talent. A dude named Key Tech was out here. It was a whole bunch of dudes that actually had their hands in major projects. My Fano the God, my producer Fano. So it means tap water. It's all starting to come to me. You know what I'm saying? It's a bunch of these dudes, you know, and that's on the Oklahoma City. It's in the Oklahoma City area. Cali Love, which he really ain't from Oklahoma City, but he been in Oklahoma so many years, and he done brung so many artists. He the one brung Killer Tate. He the one. I got a whole documentary with just me and Sebo. Just me and Sebo when they're chopping up, going back and forth. Claydoe had all that footage when I went to the pen, so I don't know where it's at, but I got a whole doc, probably about a 3-hour documentary with just me and Bolo on that motherfucker. Just going back and forth. Yeah. Right on the block. He came right to the block. Him, Nook, a couple more dudes. Cali, they came in. We kicked it. Man, I think he stayed with us for 2 days. Yeah.
When people look back at the name, Critical or Crit the Grit, you know what I'm saying? How do you want them to remember you?
So Crit the Grit, so Critical, you know, that's the legendary name for Lethal, but Crit the Grit is the new character. You know what I'm saying, that I came home with, which is, it just show you that, man, I'm still critical, but it's back to grit now. It's back to everything is the grit. It's the focus, man. And the grit ain't me grinding, because I manifest my shit effortlessly. I don't do no chasing. I ain't chasing a motherfucking thing with this type of wisdom and knowledge that I got. Everything that I've done at this point, everything that I done acquired at this point, it came to me. I magnified it to me. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's how I work now. Any opportunity, resources I take, I'm gonna make it come to me. I don't chase nothing. If you're chasing it, it's running from you. And that's what I did the first half of my life. I chased the bag. That's how I got snared. But now I know I don't have to do none of that shit. I don't need no bag. I don't need no bag now. Not no illegal bag. I can take any product and sell it. You know what I'm saying? Any product. If people can sell intellectual property, we can sell anything, fam. And the cold thing is, in today's time, you don't even have to package and sell it like that. You can actually run it up on the streams, or you can just you can package and sell it in courses and classes and shit like mentorships like that. But you know, you don't have to. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna make shit come to us, man. We're gonna make shit come to us. If I could leave anybody with anything, and that's for the whole community. If I could leave any of our people with anything, I'm gonna leave you with this wisdom right here. First, if you know who you are, if you know you're not the body, you in the body. And the body is organic technology. It's the most brilliant piece of technology in the galaxy. You inherit this from mama. Now you came as sperm, speed, speech, spirit, which is, you came as photon, proton energy. You went in the mama and you merged with this body. A brain and a spinal cord merged with this body that was in that egg, which was the heart and the rest of this body. When the brain and the spinal cord merge with the heart, boom, the heart come online as a spark, and now the masculine and feminine is coming together, making another L, a God. You're gonna come out that portal in 9 months. Everything that we do is in that same identical principle. A thought is the male. It's the semen, the speed, sperm, speed. That's what the thought is. The heart is mama, which is the earth. Heart, Earth is the same word. The heart is the earth. What is the emotion that it emits is a water, it's a liquid, it's like the tides of the ocean. So the emotion that the heart emits is water. So you're going to mix the thought with the emotion that create a word, which is the Son of God, which is your word. You sending your thought. Nobody can know what you're thinking unless you say it. Once this happens, once that word with mixed with emotion, I'm not talking about dry words, because you can speak dry words. I'm talking about the ones that's mixed with mental alchemy. The emotion that's mixed with your mental alchemy, which is your vision, what you seeing in your mind. Remember, in your mind is the only place you can create with no hammers and nails. Now, with inside of that, when you mix that with your emotion and you speak a thing into existence, you're not chasing nothing no more. You creating it. Once we start to understand and understand that we can do this shit effortlessly and make shit happen all the time, this shit started to get easy, man. And it's been your birthright to know this. This shit been here.
Tap into our true self.
That's right. It's a flux. The flux meaning that we put it from inner energy, man. We put it from the source energy. That's why we don't have to do no chasing nothing no more. And anything, the real money was never cash. It was never the digital digits that they was putting in your accounts. The real money was how did you get that digital money? How did the cash come to you? You had to put your focus on something, your attention. That's why you call it paying attention. You had to put your focus into something, and they exchanged that focus for a cash value. They gave you cash for that focus. So the real currency of the world was never the cash, it was always your attention. Wherever your attention go, the real energy flow. Wherever that is at, with mixed with emotion, you have life. It's got to yield. It's a law, bro. It's like the sun coming up in the east and setting in the west. Or on the old maps when they flip the maps. It has to come up the way that it's been designed to work. And it's actual laws to this stuff. It's laws that allow you to move effortlessly in this realm that we in. They never wanted us to get back to this knowledge. Never wanted us to realize who we was, why we got so many nationalities. But we the real L's, the ones who could see things and then fabricate. We create in the mind, we fabricate with the hand.
Man, sure. I got a couple more questions. You know what I mean? I don't want to hold you too long. I got another brother I got to get with. But
okay.
Do you feel like you and the group got enough credit, you know what I'm saying, for what y'all brought to the Tulsa hip hop scene?
At that time, I mean, you know, what is this? So it's 2000, 2002, 2004. So this is what, 23 years later? Well, we signed in 98. So what is that? Yeah. So we're almost 30 years in. So we about 28, about 2026 would be 28 years in. At that time when we was on the billboards, we was everywhere. So we got accredited for everything that we done in our time frame, in our era, in our time that we supposed to be put on the top pedestal. We received all the accolades. We'd have been nominated for awards. We won a couple awards at the Sparsnick. They used to have a thing called the Sparsnick Awards around here in Tulsa at one time. Garth Brooks used to win awards on that show. Few people around here won awards. You know what I'm saying? So, but we got our accolades in the time we were supposed to. Now it's, it's somebody else's time. From a historical point, it's a lot of these guys, they weren't even born when that shit was going on. You know what I'm saying? They just heard it. Their parents might talk about it, but they have no idea. They don't even know. You know what I'm saying? They don't know. So, everywhere I'm at in Tulsa, you know what I'm saying? It's like a hey, I know something. So I can't go nowhere in this town without knowing somebody. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm grateful for that. I think we received our just due in accolades and recognition.
What's the biggest lesson you learned, from the industry and life in general?
The biggest lesson is not the deal that you in, but it's what you negotiate. Make sure you negotiate for the best terms of you and whatever you're doing. And then my greatest thing in life is learning thyself. It's the greatest thing I ever learned in life. It's about learning about me, learning about my energetics, learning about how to manifest, how I was manifesting, why I was getting so many mixed harvests, where I was getting deep record deals, but at the same time attracting the feds.
Mm-hmm.
Why all these things I was having mixed weeds inside of my garden, inside my fruit bowl. You know what I'm saying? And realizing that I was creating all of these ripples inside of this time continuum. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the big. So this learning self is like probably my most greatest accomplishment, man. I lost my mama doing that 9 years. I was married to a whole nother woman doing that 9 years. I lost 9 years with my sons. You know what I'm saying? So that's time and shit it's shit you can't get back.
Is there anything you wish you would have done?
That time.
Is there anything you wish you would have done? My bad. I said, is there anything you wish you would have done differently?
I can't say I would. Because can't say I would have done nothing different. Because it done led me to this point.
That part.
You know what I'm saying?
If it's one thing you want to leave with the people, you know what I'm saying, watching right now, what would you want to leave with the people?
Man, never give up, family. But, not only believe in yourself, but know that you have the ability to pull it off, to do anything. You the one who created from your imagination. So I say invest in self, stay consistent. And when you get the momentum and the traction going, diversify the portfolio.
That part.
Then make you start looking for you a successor in your bloodline.
You got any shout outs, you know what I'm saying, where people can find your old music, new music, or any upcoming projects?
Yeah, you can now. You go. All that stuff will be uploaded on YouTube on the Crit to Grit page. On Crit to Grit, you can go right now and listen to that R&B album I did. I advise any dude that's listen to it with your woman, man. This ain't nothing you want to ride. Listen to it with the homies, unless y'all just for the dissect and break the album down. You know what I'm saying? But it's really an album that's on some R. Kelly-ish. It's some freaky shit for the women, but for you with your woman. You know what I'm saying? Or you with your chicks, or however you rock. It's for you with with your females. Then I got a couple things I'm about to publish here in a few minutes. I got another single. I did a little deal on Villains on my guy Villain. That's another dude that I love to work with. Is Villain. I ain't never get a chance to work with my guy Villain. Far as like me and him on a track, I would love to work with my dude. It's another dude that work hard. I love the work that he put in, the love that he give back. You know what I'm saying? And he another dude that, man, is high in my on my standards. You know what I'm saying? For what he done and what he done did in this place. But I did you know, he got that deal where you go grab with the microphone and hang it down. And I did the song on that bloodline, but I need to go and shoot that bloodline. I need to shoot that bloodline, man. It's kind of like a small fragment of the story of what really happened to us on this land. How they reversed everything.
If they want to cop some merch from you, how can they get the merch?
If you want to cop the merch, just get at me on Facebook. I ain't got the websites and stuff up and running yet. I'm still developing. I lose words like trying. Right now I'm in the midst of getting me a wholesale denim company that I can actually do my designs with. So it's gonna be a second before I actually be able to put the website up and have it like I want it. But until then, you can always get the tops and the hats. You know what I'm saying? I got plenty of them. You can get the tops and the hats. You can just hit me on Facebook. I do a lot of advertising on Facebook, man. Or you can hit me on TikTok too. All of it is up under Antonio Martell, which is, you know, aka Cryptic Grit on there. You know what I'm saying? Antonio Martell on Facebook. You can always order on there. I'm gonna blast it out the same day that you put the order in. Just hit me on the inbox, and I'll show you how to send the money and shit. We're gonna go from there. We're gonna have it. It's gonna be blasted out the same day you order.
I want to say thank you, kinfolk. You know what I'm saying? It's an honor to have a relative on here, but not even just that. You know what I mean? Have a legend from the town on her. You know what I'm saying? It's an honor to have you on here.
Grateful for you too, kinfolk. I'm grateful. You don't know. You dropped a gem in me some years back. You dropped a seed, bro. I had to go look into it, and when I dived into it, you know what I'm saying? You opened up the rest of my mind on a whole bunch of other stuff, man, that I wasn't even privy to at the time. You know what I'm saying? And that just show you, man, how that shit is planted. You know what I'm saying?
That's an appreciation.
Beautiful. For sure.
I look forward to seeing you soon. You know what I'm saying? And networking and continuing.
We gonna dial in this Saturday. This Saturday, I'm pulling up on you. I'm pulling in.
I'm looking forward to that.
We got some shit to get done.
Yeah. So like I said, man, y'all make sure y'all hit that like button, share, and subscribe, man. This one of them real ones. It's authentic. You know what I'm saying? This has been a great one. Thank you again, kinfolk.
For sure. One love. Grateful for you too, fam.
Indeed. Peace and love.
Peace.